Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Prophets, Volume 4, Book 55, number 543 to 658. Volume 4, Book 55, number 543. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, Allah created Adam, making him 60 cubits tall. When he created him, he said to him, Go and greet that group of angels, and listen to their reply, for it will be your greeting, salutation, and the greeting, salutations of your offspring. So, Adam said, to the angels, As-salamu alaykum, i.e. peace be upon you. The angels said, As-salamu alayka wa rahmatu Allahi, i.e. peace and Allah's mercy be upon you. Thus the angels added to Adam's salutation the expression, wa rahmatu Allahi. Any person who will enter paradise will resemble Adam, in appearance and figure. People have been decreasing in stature since Adam's creation. Volume 4, Book 55, number 544. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, The first group of people who will enter paradise will be glittering like the full moon, and those who will follow them will glitter like the most brilliant star in the sky. They will not urinate, relieve nature, spit, or have any nasal secretions. Their combs will be of gold, and their sweat will smell like musk. The aloes wood will be used in their centers. Their wives will be huris. All of them will look alike and will resemble their father Adam, in statute, 60 cubits tall. Volume 4, Book 55, number 545. Narrated by Abu Salama. Salama said, Salam said, O Allah's Apostle, Allah does not refrain from saying the truth. Is it obligatory for a woman to take a bath after she gets nocturnal discharge? He said, Yes, if she notices the water, i.e. discharge. Salama smiled and said, Does a woman get discharge? Allah's Apostle said, Then why does a child resemble its mother? Volume 4, Book 55, number 546. Narrated by Anas. When Abdullah bin Salam heard the arrival of the Prophet at Medina, he came to him and said, I am going to ask you about 3 things which nobody knows except a prophet. What is the first portent of the hour? What will be the first meal taken by the people of paradise? Why does a child resemble its father? And why does it resemble its maternal uncle? Allah's Apostle said, Gabriel has just now told me of their answers. Abdullah said, He, i.e. Gabriel, from amongst all the angels, is the enemy of the Jews. Allah's Apostle said, The first portent of the hour will be a fire that will bring together the people from the east to the west. The first meal of the people of paradise will be extra lobe, cordate lobe, of fish liver. As for the resemblance of the child to its parents, if a man has sexual intercourse with his wife and gets discharge first, the child will resemble the father, and if the woman gets discharge first, the child will resemble her. On that, Abdullah bin Salam said, I testify that you are the Apostle of Allah. Abdullah bin Salam further said, O Allah's Apostle, the Jews are liars, and if they should come to know about my conversion to Islam before you ask them about me, they would tell a lie about me. The Jews came to Allah's Apostle and Abdullah went inside the house. Allah's Apostle asked the Jews, What kind of man is Abdullah bin Salam amongst you? They replied, He is the most learned person amongst us, and the best amongst us, and the son of the best amongst us. Allah's Apostle said, What do you think if he embraces Islam, will you do as he does? The Jews said, May Allah save him from it. Then, Abdullah bin Salam came out in front of them saying, I testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah and that Muhammad is the apostle of Allah. Thereupon they said, He is the evilest among us, and the son of the evilest amongst us, and continued talking badly of him. Volume 4, Book 55, number 547. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, But for the Israelis, meat would not decay, and but for Eve, wives would never betray their husbands. Volume 4, Book 55, number 548. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's apostle said, Treat women nicely, for a woman is created from a rib, and the most curved portion of the rib is its upper portion, so, if you should try to straighten it, it will break, but if you leave it as it is, it will remain crooked. So treat women nicely. Volume 4, Book 55, number 549. Narrated by Abdullah. Allah's apostle, the true and truly inspired, said, As regards your creation, every one of you is collected in the womb of his mother for the first 40 days, and then he becomes a clot for another 40 days, and then a piece of flesh for another 40 days. Then Allah sends an angel to write 4 words. He writes his deeds, time of his death, means of his livelihood, and whether he will be wretched or blessed, in religion. Then the soul is breathed into his body. So a man may do deeds characteristic of the people of the hell fire, so much so that there is only the distance of a cubit between him and it, and then what has been written by the angel surpasses, and so he starts doing deeds characteristic of the people of paradise and enters paradise. Similarly, a person may do deeds characteristic of the people of paradise, so much so that there is only the distance of a cubit between him and it, and then what has been written by the angel surpasses, and he starts doing deeds of the people of the hell fire and enters the hell fire. Volume 4, Book 55, number 550. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, Allah has appointed an angel in the womb, and the angel says, O Lord, a drop of discharge, i.e. a semen, O Lord, a clot, O Lord, a piece of flesh. And then, if Allah wishes to complete the child's creation, the angel will say, O Lord, a male or a female. O Lord, wretched or blessed, in religion. What will his livelihood be? What will his age be? The angel writes all this while the child is in the womb of its mother. Volume 4, Book 55, number 551. Narrated by Anas. The Prophet said, Allah will say to that person of the hell fire who will receive the least punishment, If you had everything on the earth, would you give it as a ransom to free yourself, i.e. save yourself from this fire? He will say, Yes. Then Allah will say, While you were in the backbone of Adam, I asked you much less than this, i.e. not to worship others besides me, but you insisted on worshipping others besides me. Volume 4, Book 55, number 552. Narrated by Abdullah. Allah's apostle said, Whenever a person is murdered unjustly, there is a share from the burden of the crime on the first son of Adam, for he was the first to start the tradition of murdering.